The ancient highway of the Huron and Iroquois begins, where the road of the white man ends. A highway that provided not only transportation, but also food for the body and the spirit.
Want a refill? No, thanks.
We no longer need the fish and beaver to assure our survival, but the free-flowing rivers can still provide a spiritual link with the natural world. A spiritual link that seems to have eluded us in the taming of the wilderness. But for many, the search has just begun.
Slow down a little, Paul. We're going too fast. You're not kidding. I'm getting soaked.
Holy mackerel! There's a ledge ahead. If we could just take the Eddy Turn over to the right there.
Okay.
That looks good.
Let's take it over there.
Hold it tight. Let's look it over.
That doesn't look too bad over there.
Yeah, but I'd like to look it over from shore, though, I think. Oh, that doesn't look so bad. We can squeeze it through there.
Yeah, but that ledge isn't as deep as it looks.
You know, I think you're right. But see, there's the main problem. You'll have to...
The risks are still here,
You see what I mean?
but the element of danger diminishes with whitewater skills. By studying the surface of the rapids, it's possible to know where the rocks lie and plan a course to avoid them. Rocks beneath the surface betray their presence by a curling wave lying just downstream. A shallow rock will damage the canoe. A rock that is lying deeper isn't much of a problem, but the downstream curling wave sure is. The deep water channel is indicated by a V of dark water pointing downstream. Waves or haystacks pile up as the water surges through the gap. They are a deep water wave. The waves to avoid are those foaming stationary ones that curl upstream. They are caused by rocks near the surface. A straight hard line across the river, followed by foaming white water, warns of a ledge. A typical downstream V indicates a safe passage. The small standing waves or haystacks are no problem. But in a deep, fast rapid, haystacks must be taken off to one side to avoid swamping. Sometimes the haystacks are very difficult to avoid. Although a deep water haystack can be a lot of fun in a short rapid, they should not be attempted in a long one. Swamping near the top could result in a long, dangerous swim. The water in a swamp canoe weighs almost a ton. In a 6-mile-an-hour current, the canoe exerts a pressure of 3,000 pounds. Between a rock and the canoe is not the place to be. Getting smashed against a brick wall by a Volkswagen is a pretty good way to describe how it would feel. As skill and knowledge grow, so does a healthy respect for flowing water.
Pull! Don't worry, I got it.
There's a ledge just below there.
Yeah, I
Let's
see
take
it.
it. Eddy Turn, right. To the right.
The eddy turn to shore makes it possible to get off the river when you don't like what you see up ahead and you need time to look it over.
It's a long one, boy.
Yeah, and tricky. Listen, let's try a ferry right over there.
To reach the opposite shore, the canoe is sideslipped across the current at an angle, so the sidewash on the canoe will assist in the traverse. The bowman must not let the current swing his end downstream.
Just set her in there behind that rock.
To turn around, the bow sticks his nose out into the current, while the stern holds his end in the eddy. For back ferrying or setting, the stern paddler must lighten his end by sliding forward.
Just want to move the weight forward a bit.
The advantage of the back ferry is that you are always ready for a downstream run.
How's it look?
I don't know, it looks pretty tricky.
Grab that eddy on the left. Don't let it spring out.
Gee, that was close. Wow, look at that.
What do you think?
I don't know, it's pretty tricky.
See, there's a ledge right over there. See the ledge?
Oh, yeah.
Paul, there's a nice chute over there on the left. See, we can take it through right over there.
From the eddy behind a rock, we find the rapids unrunnable. Over on the left, a small chute looks promising. Downstream V's indicate a safe passage. However, below the chute, on the same side of the river, a ledge extends out from shore. The deep water at the bottom of the rapids is on the right side of the river. It all adds up to an interesting problem. The maneuvers required to get through the rapids safely would look something like this. An eddy turn at the top gives the canoeist time to look it over. The canoe is worked through shallows to the chute by the shore. An eddy turn moves the canoe over into the center of the rapids. The canoe is drifted down until past the rock, then back ferried across to avoid the ledge.
See the ledge?
I sure do.
I think what we're going to have to do is back ferry.
Yeah, okay.
But the trouble is, we can't start it until we pass that rock.
Yeah, but if we have to back ferry after the rock, that'd be pretty tricky.
No problem. Just make sure you don't begin the ferry until your stern clears that rock. Okay?
You yell when you want me to start.
Now give me lots of backwater to give me time to get it over. Want to give it a try?
Okay.
Easy, not yet. Okay, drop. Way over, harder, harder.
Okay.
Keep her going, we're doing fine. How's it look, Paul?
If the rapids are easy, they are read from the standing position. The canoe must be aligned with the deep water channel before entering the rapid. At the apex of the downstream V, we find standing waves or haystacks caused by the fast water of the V hitting slower water. With a little practice, it's easy to tell the difference between a friendly deep water haystack and a curling wave caused by an upstream rock.
Hey, looks like big trouble up ahead.
Wow, let's get out of here.
To escape the mainstream, the canoe is side-slipped out of the haystacks and ferried to shore.
Hey, that was great, but did you see what I saw up ahead?
Yeah, I saw it all right.
Side-slipping out of a fast-moving current avoids being carried into dangerous rapids that come up suddenly.
What do you think?
I don't know. It looks pretty tricky.
Portage looks pretty rough. But if you don't want to go down it, you say.
I don't want to go down it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think. It looks tricky.
Okay, let's look it over from shore. I don't know, Paul. Over there, see? See right in there. There's rocks in there. I think we should take it over.
From shore downstream, the rapids don't look quite so bad. A channel becomes more obvious. The route is agreed upon and strategy planned. The river narrows into a very good example of a chute, but the chute terminates in a ledge. The rock ledge is barely visible, but the souse hole leaves no doubt it's there. Over on the right, some haystacks look promising, but a closer inspection reveals curling waves rolling upstream, indicating rocks hidden among them. The route will have to be in the middle between the ledge and the haystacks, but it's a narrow target, only about 3 feet wide. The V next to shore looks good, but it's a bit too narrow. From upstream, a ledge appears as a straight line. The problem is, where is the V?
Hey, what side do you want?
I'm not sure.
Well, you better make up your mind soon. Hey, listen, let's take it slow. We've got to work our way all the way across the river there. Okay, cross draw. Take it across.
Looks good.
By descending slowly, there is time to plan strategy and position the canoe well above the souse hole.
Take it slow. It looks like a big one.
Listen, are you sure you know what's around the corner?
Yeah, it's okay. Just stay right and we'll let you out behind the rock there.
When you're sure there is nothing dangerous around the corner, there are 2 methods of taking it under control. The eddy turn prevents the canoe from being swamped against the rock face. The second method of overcoming the current around a sharp bend depends on a strong backwater. The canoe is drifted around sideways. It's called setting because the stern is set over with a backwater pry. The eddy turn and setting techniques put the canoe in a position to avoid trouble downstream.
Paul. Paul. Wake up.
What? What? Wow, what's that?
Yeah, you're gonna like this one, Paul.
I guess we're upgrading that one, eh?
Not very likely. We'll just portage to the base of the falls, though. We can get it through the canyon in low water, okay?
Every year, people are swept to their death into dangerous rapids or over falls because they never learned how to make a safe landing in a current. Side-slip the canoe to shore stern first. The upstream paddler makes contact and hangs on.
Hang on to that thing. I don't want to go through there.
I got it.
The downstream man must not grab shore first. Many rivers can be traveled by those who prefer the portage to running rapids. But anyone canoeing a river with rapids or falls should be familiar with all the strokes for making safe landings.
Oh, man.
How long is this one?
It's pretty long, I think. I think it must be almost there now. Oh, wow, I gotta have a rest.
Just take it slow, Paul.
You mean we're gonna go through there?
It's okay, we can wait it down.
Getting pretty fast.
Okay.
When the going gets too tough, wading is an interesting alternative to the portage. It's also a good way to learn about rapids. Wading is also a cautious method of approaching an unknown or dangerous stretch of water, especially if it disappears around a corner. Sometimes it's possible to portage the worst part of the rapids and line the rest. A bridle is tied to the stern seat so the pull will be right at the keel line. When working with tracking lines, a belt knife should be worn. It's surprisingly easy to become entangled in the rope.
Should I take the small pack?
Yeah, would you? I'm gonna use the other two for ballast.
The weight must be placed in the downstream end, or the upstream end will dig in and capsize the canoe. Always remember that whether lining, wading, or ferrying, the end pointing upstream must not ride deeper than the downstream end.
Let's both paddle on the left. Start your draw. A little harder. That's it. We're gonna have to get it well past the rocks there. A little harder. A little harder. Okay, now, take her down.
Normally, you paddle opposite sides, but with both paddlers doing a sculling draw, you can make a strong side slip.
Want to brace for me, Paul? Yeah, this is a big one.
Above a rapid is a very dangerous place to be. and standing is only attempted if thoroughly familiar with the position. But if they look at all interesting, they are surveyed from the safety of the shore.
Take her to shore.
Hey, that sounds pretty wild.
Oh, it's a tough one.
Have you ever run this one before?
Yeah, but it depends a lot on the water level.
The deep water channel is there, but obscure, and there are deep souse holes.
The only way I can see is just this side of the rock.
These rapids would rate a difficult 3 on the river classification system of 1 to 6. 1 being easy, and 6 bordering on the suicidal.
I think it's definitely too big for the both of us in those souse holes, Paul. But I think I could sneak it through over there on the right.
I don't know. I think that rock over there is going to be a problem. It's right in the main current.
Oh, I can miss that all right.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
Good luck. Well, at least it's not very long.
This is about the limit of navigability for an open canoe, but the rapid is short, so a whiteboat would not mean a long, dangerous swim. Running solo has the advantage of buoyancy, an important factor in an open canoe in a turbulent rapid.
Hey, Dad, how's this?
Hey, that's nice.
The question might well be asked, why run a dangerous rapid? Why try to relive the past?
Okay, get ready for the pan.
Maybe it's a search for something yet undiscovered during the taming of the wilderness. The white man's way of making a living left little time for looking to nature to feed the soul.
Boy, you really dinged it, didn't you?
It's just a scratch.
That's a scratch. I'd hate to see what you call a hole.
Well, anyway, the hole's in my end, so don't worry about it.
There is a harmony with the natural world that the native people had that we have been slow to discover. And if we're going to give it a try, there is no better way than to canoe a wild river running unharnessed to the sea.
Boy, the rapids are dark and scary at night, eh?
You know, you're right. They do, don't they?
Is there any more big stuff before we get to the lake?
Yeah, but nothing we have to portage. It's a free ride all the way.
Oh, that's great.
catching that beach in the lake. Come on for supper.